The letter has returned. What's going on, everybody? It's Eli here from TreeFall Studios, and today we're going to be taking a look at some sales information. I know this is crazy stuff and it's really helpful for other game developers, so let's dive on in. Alright, so one of the most popular videos that I currently have on our growing YouTube channel is a video titled called How Much My Indie Game Made on Steam in 1 Week. I released this video about 2 years ago and I still get daily views on this video to this day. Another thing about it, we were taking a look at Maze, my first released Steam game, and basically I broke down that we sold 17 copies in the first week, earning $127-ish, and I talked about how the $100 fee at Steam would be coming out of that, and really it took about a week to make 20 bucks, and we'd be taxed on it, so it was pretty much, not really worth it. And then I took a look at Steam and basically said what you would need to do in order to make Steam viable. But here is my experience with Steam as a small-time indie developer with a small-time audience. And that's basically the gist of that video. I'm going to link it up above. In case you haven't seen it, you check that out before you watch this one. It would probably be helpful information. But this video, we're going to be continuing that train of thought. I'm going to be taking a look at some new sales data that we just got, and I'll give you some updates on some of the older games that have been selling on Steam for a while. And we're going to re-examine today in this video whether or not Steam is worth your time as an indie game developer. So to preface this, I made $56 yesterday on Steam. That might not sound like a lot to you, especially in these times of high inflation. If you're a game developer watching this video trying to figure out is this a viable career path to you, I think that's pretty good on Steam, to be honest. I'm not like one of these huge YouTubers that has a giant following, like someone like Thomas Brush, who can drop a game on Steam and show the sales numbers being, really big. I remember him talking about some sales numbers on one of his videos, and I'm just like, holy Lord, if I could do that on Steam, I'd just retire. But, that's not me. I'm just an average indie developer. My following size, the community that enjoys our games, has actually grown a lot since the last video. Since the last time I did one of these videos, we had about 400 subscribers on YouTube, around 900 followers on Twitter, and about 500 Facebook followers. Now we've grown a bit. We're getting close to about 1,400 followers on Twitter. We broke 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're watching this video and you're new and you're interested in learning about game development or checking out some awesome indie games that we provide, that I sort of work on. But that being said, we've grown a little bit since then, so I would like to say that's helped out a little bit, but it's not like it's helped out a ton. Most of our sales are coming from, random sources, people looking at the stuff on PlayStation stores and just deciding to buy the game, or, somebody making a video for us and, it reaches out to a larger audience than normal and more people kind of check out the game and buy the game. We've had some games that have gone like runs for like really high sales for like a month or so. Like Maze Pedestal of Trials did really well on PlayStation, and Steam we haven't even broken our $100 back from the fee. So it's kind of up in the air on what's going to do well and what's not going to do well. Especially, I think a lot of it has to do with art. Different art speaks to people differently, and that's going to be a really huge deciding factor whether or not people buy your game or not. But we're going to be diving into the sales figures for the letter, and to give you a little bit of backstory, I've been releasing a bunch of games over the last couple of months. I released a game called Mighty Math in October, on October 25th, and then exactly 2 weeks later, I dropped this game, The Letter, the Classic Edition, and then I'm dropping another game at the end of this month called Tilting Tiles Ultimate Tilt Remix, and then in December, I'm going to be trying to drop another game called Pick a Block. The reason we're dropping so many games like this is because financial times are getting a little tough, and I'm a full-time indie game developer, been doing it full-time for a while. My console sales are basically enough to sustain a career with the other sources of income added in. When you add in, Steam sales, we do get some income from Steam. I do get income from Patreon and other sources like that. All of that's broken down in another video on my channel as well, helping game developers learn how to broaden their income sources. But I've got to say, times are getting a little tight. Costs are going up and sales are going down. I'm actually going to talk about this in another video later, but for now, I'll just say I've been working really, really hard, and I've been putting in different amounts of marketing effort for all of these games. Mighty Math, I was super excited about. It's a brand new concept arcade game. I thought it would go viral basically for streamers because it's so intense and it's really difficult, and your PSN ID is tagged while you're playing the game. So if you have a cool run on stream, everyone will know that it was you who did it if they're sharing out your videos, and that would help streamers get more popularity as well as the game that I have that they're playing. However, I marketed this on YouTube, on Twitter. I did a ton of tweets for it. I sent out a ton of codes for the game. And I did more videos on my YouTube than I did for the Letter of the Classic Edition. But in one day, the Letter basically outsold 2 weeks worth of Mighty Math sales, and Mighty Math cost more. So it should be bringing in more money, and it didn't. So we're going to be taking a look at the Letter specifically because it's apparently magic. People just like it. It sold 35 copies on day one on Steam without me basically even marketing it. The only thing I did was put out a tweet saying it's available on Steam. I take it back. I mean, I did have a trailer for it in my TreeFall Studios Developers Conference video, but as of the time of this recording, I think that video only has about 90 views, so it's not like that had a huge impact on the marketing. There was like one tweet, and I barely sent out codes for this game in comparison to Mighty Math. I only sent out a few review codes, because I'm not like, hey everyone, the Letter is back. It's more of a fan service type of project, but this just goes to show you, you just don't know what's going to sell, and Steam might be viable for us going forward in the future. There's a couple reasons why I think that developing on Steam is still worth it, even though I talked about it in my last video that it's really not worth it for the money and for your time. You just don't know if a game might blow up on Steam or not, so I would say that it's worth the chance. There's basically two reasons why I develop games on Steam. It's to give games for our fans who don't have consoles. We have some fans that follow us that were huge Nintendo fans to where their only console is like the Switch, and then they also have a PC, but they don't play PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that. And our games are not currently on the Switch, so I just spend the time working on PC ports so some of our fans can play some of the games that they're actually excited about. Also, I think that it just helps bring a little bit more of an air of professionability. That's not even a word. It just makes your business look a little bit more professional when you are releasing on multi-platform launches like this, when you can say, hey, the game's out on Steam, hey, the game's out on PlayStation. You can play it on your PlayStation 5, it's on your PlayStation 4, you can go get it on your computer. It's coming to Xbox in a couple months. I just think that looks a lot more, I guess I would just say professional. It just looks like you have more going on in your company from an outsider's perspective if they go to look at your Twitter or they go to look at your website, and you give people the ability to play your games in more places. So those are the main reasons I developed for Steam. Does that mean it's worth it for you if you're watching this as a budding game developer? I think that it is probably worth it, but it's probably not worth it to try repeatedly if you're not seeing increasingly good results. So if you're someone who's just getting started, you want to toss a game out there on Steam and just see how it works, it's going to cost you $100, and if you don't make your money back, you probably don't want to do that over and over and over. It would just slowly run you down until you're out of business, basically, depending on whether or not this is just a hobby or if you're trying to make it a full-time career. And since my channel is kind of geared and guaranteed to help those trying to make it into a full-time career, I would say if you're going to, you probably have to try to release on Steam. even if you're not making the money from it. But you've got to move from Steam to other platforms if you're going to have a full-time income. I would say to have a full-time income, let's say low ball on the spectrum, pulling $2,000 to $3,000 a month for you to be able to live and survive at a lower salary for the United States. It's going to be pretty difficult to bring those kind of numbers in on Steam if you're only releasing on Steam, unless you've just got something that goes viral or something that's so big and has a player base where you're going to be getting sales quite frequently throughout the year. The reason I wanted to make this video a little bit positive to talk about Steam is because you can look and you can see, yes, we sold 35 copies on day one for the letter on PC. That's pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that. Obviously, we sold way more on PlayStation, or else I wouldn't be sitting here making the video, wasting my work day trying to do some YouTube videos. But, you know, I was pretty impressed with how much we sold on Steam. But as you can see, there's a positive benefit about releasing a new game that might actually sell on Steam and building out your library and building out your catalog. Because if you can see, I'll scroll through, give you some B-roll of this. We actually made $56 yesterday, but that didn't all come from the letter. See, people came to get the letter, which is like $1.79, you know, not a whole lot of money there, but it actually brought in new customers that found our other games for the first time, and they bought our TreeFall Studios bundle. We're pretty generous with the TreeFall Studios bundle on Steam. It's 50% off all of the games, so if you buy the bundle, you get half off on all the games, and it actually like recalculates the price on Steam if you have games on sale. So like right now we have Maze on sale, and the letter has a 10% discount for a launch discount, and I think Maze Pedestal of Trials is on sale, so you could basically go get like 5 or 6 of our games for like $8, which is, you know, just ridiculous compared to other platforms. It's a very cheap way to play all of our games, and that's what I want to say has the most positive impact on Steam. I've learned since that time frame of $127 in a week, and then we went months basically after that on Steam not making any money whatsoever. Now Maze is sitting at over $600 made on Steam. I'll show that on the screen as well. And it's because you can actually make money over time, because the more games you add to your library, I've noticed every single time I've added a new game to my library, someone might find some of our older games and buy our bundle. That's where we've made most of our sales. We make sales on Steam by periodically discounting games or joining Steam sales, but we really don't make a lot from that. I would say that we make most of the money from people who are willing to, you know, give the company a try, and when they see some game they like and then they realize, hey, I can get all these games super cheap if I just buy them in the bundle, and you know, that's how we've made a lot of the money on Steam. So I would say, as a game developer, don't get super discouraged if your first game doesn't do well on Steam, or if your second game doesn't do well on Steam. You know, as you build your library, you might have a couple games that are hits or might increase in sales numbers comparatively to your older games, and that might bring new eyes to your profile page, which hosts all of your games, and it can bring in some decent side income to supplement your console sales or your other income streams. With all that rambling being said, I'm pretty excited with how the letter has been selling on Steam. It gives me hope. I'm going to keep supporting Steam because we've got some players on there that only get to check out our games on Steam and nowhere else. So I'm going to be releasing games like Mighty Math and Pick a Block and our new Pitter Pot game that's secret in the works, all that kind of stuff. It will be coming to Steam, get some people to check it out. But hopefully we'll have more videos in the future that I can talk positively about Steam and the platform, and learning the tips and tricks that I can pick up and then that I can give to you guys. I know that it helps over time to build a library, and that's kind of what I'm seeing now. You know, if you're constantly seeing no sales, however, you know, it might be time just to save your $100 and move on to different avenues. You know, call it quits or try to get your game on consoles and find a new audience there, because you don't want to be losing money all the time. You definitely want to at least be breaking even on your time with Steam. But I would like to say, you know, after seeing some of the things I've seen, picking up some of the sales on some of the other games, I think that there is some viability left in Steam. And this is coming from somebody who sells so little on Steam. So just to do a quick overview of this video, basically we made about $56 in a single day on Steam. For us, that's pretty good. To go back and basically expand upon that video from 2 years ago in the conversation, is Steam viable? Should indie game developers develop games for Steam? I think the answer is yes. I think that if you put in the work over time, even if you aren't seeing the greatest success at first, you can grow it slowly but surely into something bigger, and it can definitely be a way to supplement your income, if not be a main source of your income. As you can see with us, it's obviously not our main source of income, but the more that we spend time on the platform, the more that we learn the tricks of the trade and how Steam operates and what would perform well on Steam and versus what doesn't. It's helped us pinpoint in a little bit better on saving time and making more money on the platform. So if you are interested in game development and learning more about how to get started in game development, be sure to hit this video with a like and subscribe to this channel so you never miss an upload. I do plenty of videos like this where I talk about my experiences in game development, what I'm actually seeing, and how to get better at it. So without further ado, guys, I will catch you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed the letter classic edition. It's definitely something. Give it a wish list on Steam, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.